Hey, it's Sharon here from Content Sparks, and in this video I'm going to give you a sneak peek inside our course called Promote and Market Your Business Book. It's all about how to increase sales and put your book to work for your business. So there are 3 folders in here that are in the Blaze package only: the student materials, instructor materials, and lead generation materials. That's what I'm going to show you in this video. If you only want the lead generation materials, you can grab the Flash package. And if you only want the student materials, you can grab the Beacon package. If you want the instructor ones, that's only in the full Blaze package, that full course kit that has everything for building your own funnel. So the student materials we'll start with. This is everything your students need for learning and implementing what you'll teach in the course. And there's a course book that has all the text-based content, the action guide, which has all the worksheets and stuff, as well as a couple other things in this course. Cheat sheets, a high-level outline, which is a great reference point for key steps and key points and things like that. And then we give you the graphics that are in various places in the slideshow and course book. We give them in a separate folder here, as well as a nice big overview infographic that gives a snapshot of all the modules, and the slides handout, which is all your slides in a document. So in the course book, I'll open up first. And you'll see right away that there is a place to put your logo and that everything is already formatted nicely, but you can easily change the styles here, the colors, the fonts, all that different stuff, and put your company name and your URL in the footer. So you can get this off to a really quick start and not have to do a whole lot other than your name in there and your logo, or even just an image. And then you'll see there's a table of contents already set up with all the modules. There's 7 modules in the course, plus some individual lessons. So we've divided up so it's not overwhelming, because this is quite a large course. And the course book here, I think, is 87 pages and, oh gosh, nearly 14,000 words in here. So it's in manageable pieces. At the end of each module, you'll see that there's, here I'll scroll through, you'll see there's in a box here, action steps. You could also just get rid of that box if you don't like it. It's just a text box outline. And there's also key takeaways. And as you probably saw as I skimmed through, we use some graphics in here that you can edit right in here. There's smart art, but as I showed you, they're also in a separate folder if you want to do it there. And that is the course book. Again, you can just make this any styles you want. I would do all the branding and editing or anything in here, and then break it up into individual little text documents, PDFs, if you upload this online to an online course. And now let me show you the action guide. And that is in the action guide folder. You'll see there are actually 3 things in here. There's the action guide, an assets checklist, and a timeline Excel spreadsheet. So let's look at the action guide first. And you'll see it lines up perfectly with the course book. Table of contents matches the modules, and there's a little how to use in the beginning, an introduction, and then worksheets for each one of the sets of action steps in the course book itself. And again, you just style this however you want. Some people even put this into something like Canva and add designs to it, or put it in other programs. So it's very easy to work with that way. Now let me show you the other things in here. I mentioned there's this assets checklist. This is one of the things that you'll have people do right at the beginning, which is go through and make sure that they have some standard assets for promoting their book. And then the other thing in here, as I mentioned, was this timeline. This is an Excel spreadsheet that you can use by going to the bottom, sticking in the date for your launch, and then it will automatically calculate deadlines for a 12-week timeline of what you need to do before your book is launched when you're doing actual launches. So this is based on a launch timeline, but there'll be other marketing things you might want to do here as an ongoing process as well. So let's go back up now to the rest of this. I mentioned the cheat sheet. I want to open that as well, because that's very popular. This is a very popular piece of all our programs, because you can see it's this high level outline. And each one could be broken up after you've done whatever editing and branding you want to do, and have them as downloads with each module if you have an online course, or just as handouts. Or if you're doing a webinar series out of this, you could use them as handouts at the end, because it has the key takeaways and those action steps in each one, so people can refer back without having to read through a lot of text in a course book or go back through a video. It's all right there. And it's very easy also for you when you want to see what you want to maybe edit, or where you might want to add some of your own content or stories or examples. We always recommend you look at the cheat sheet and get that really good, thorough look at the course without having to read through everything. Now, going back up, I mentioned there's a folder with all the graphics in here. So they're in PowerPoint, so you can easily edit them in PowerPoint and then create your own handout like that of PNGs, JPEGs and stuff. You can just save them that way. But they are in PowerPoint, so it's easy to edit them. And the other things in this folder, the student folder, is this overview infographic I mentioned. This is also done in PowerPoint, and it gives you kind of a blueprint, a results formula, whatever you want to call it, of all the modules in the course and the path that you are taking your students on from the very beginning and looking at what assets they have, all the way through having some different publishing options, having all their sales pieces set up, preparing for a launch, things to do after the launch, during the launch, things they can do afterwards for leveraging their book more. You can see that path in there, and it's great for referring back to also during the course, so people know where they are at any one point. And now the last thing in here is this slides handout. This, as I said, is the slides, but all in a Word document. So it's very nice to give your students something like this for them to take notes on. So you can also generate this yourself after you've made some changes to the slides, or since this is a Word document, you can actually make some changes right in here if you wanted, like put your logo in. And that's everything in the student materials. Let's go back up now to the instructor materials. This is everything for you for teaching the course. So there's the slideshow, which is the core part. I'll open that up first for you. And you'll see again, there's a place for your logo. Again, we've left it quite plain so that you can add images or styles to this. You can add animation. You can get as fancy as you want, or you could just do a solid background. Or if you have a custom theme that you use for everything, just do that. But everything is in here. There's 220 or so slides in here. So make your edits based on whatever else you want to change in the course. Then if you're doing separate little videos, which I always recommend, or separate webinars, break it up into separate files, but do it all in one to make your life easier, and don't try and do it in multiple files. Also, one other note on this, if you're in a rush and you just want to get the course up and running, you could work right from the slides. So there's notes under each one that are basically the content from the course book. So there's text there to guide you, and you can then just talk through these, make videos or presentations. And if you want to take it another step further, use the cheat sheet, and then wait and use the course book and make changes there when you're ready to do something a little more thorough, when you've had some feedback. So just an idea there for you to work with. Now, I also mentioned the speaker notes. I believe I showed you they were under the slides, but we also generated those into a handout. So if you prefer to have that in a Word document, that is there for you as well. Other things in the instructor materials, you'll see there's a folder here with an implementation guide. That has more instructions for you and more information to help you with delivering the course. I'm not going to open that. Evaluation form is something you can use to create your own survey or handout to get feedback from students. There are follow-up emails in here, 5 follow-up emails that you can queue up in your autoresponder and use to follow up with students after your course. So to keep sending them tips and to not just keep in touch with them, but keep building a relationship with them, keep them accountable. So you want to keep sending them more value after the course is done, and you don't want them to forget. So these are 5 to get you started. You'll put your own autoresponder tags in here for your first name, your own personal greeting, edit it to make it sound a bit like you, and then have your sign off and give your readers, your subscribers, students something to do. So there's a place for a call to action. So as I said, there's 5 in there. And the last thing in the folders here are research sources. This is a document with a whole bunch of different links in here that either you can use to brush up your knowledge on book promoting and marketing. And you can even use this as a bonus handout for your students for if they want to do some extra research too. And then the rest of the documents here are some PDFs, like a curriculum with other courses you might want to teach and add on, and other instructions, and even a whole list of contents that are in all the folders here. And the last folder I want to show you is the lead generation materials, because this is how you're going to build a list of people interested in your course and nurture that list and convert them to paying students. So there's an opt-in report. So that's in a standard report format. And then that's also in a cheat sheet format, like I showed you with the course book, where it's just like an outline with key points. And it's also in a slideshow. So you can use the slideshow in combination with the cheat sheet, and even in combination with the report, to do a webinar and convert leads to students that way. You can do it just as a report download, any combination of the 3. Even some people just use the cheat sheet and spruce it up a little, add an intro and bio, things like that, and make that the lead magnet. So let me show you the report first, and then I'll show you the other pieces of what would be your funnel for students. And again, you'll see that this is similar to the course book, same sort of layout, so you should be familiar with it. Place for your logo, table of contents, and then there's not quite as much as in the course book, because this is a lead magnet. You don't want to overwhelm people, so you just want to give them some quick, actionable things, quick wins. And the title was 5 Easy Ways to Increase Revenue from Your Book. So you're giving them 5 ways. You're telling them about optimizing for search engines, and there's next steps for them to take, get reviewed, next steps for them to take, nice and concise, so that people see that you can add value, really help them with making sales of their book, and then you have a call to action at the end to get them to visit, send them to your sales page, or if you don't have your sales page ready, just have them go to your site, maybe to an article on your site, or other steps that you want them to take next. Now, next up, I also told you that was in a cheat sheet format. So you'll see that's outlined in that same way. I won't open that up. And then there's the slideshow. So webinars convert really well for getting students or other paying customers. So we've given this to you in the slideshow format as well. And there's text underneath to guide you so that you can do that as a webinar. 33 slides in here. You could even do it as a live stream. And then that cheat sheet, just make it look nice and do that as the incentive for people to stay till the end. Or you could break it up, since there's 5 different key things in there, 5 different ways to increase revenue. Make it 5 little short videos, or 5 little live streams as part of a challenge, anything like that. Now the last few things in here are also for nurturing the leads and attracting students and leads to your site. So the emails are sent after somebody opts in. There are 7 of them here. The first one has your opt-in download link or registration. So if it's a webinar, you'd want to have the registration there after they've opted in, or you may not need it at all depending on your webinar platform. If you're using some other download, you put it into this email and just remind them why they opted in and what they're going to get out of it. And then there are 5 emails with different tips related to the report, things on SEO and influencers and more marketing tips. So even if you don't use these as part of a funnel, like attracting people to your lead magnet and nurturing those leads, you could also use these as course follow-ups, because there's other tips in here that are really helpful. Just edit the text to make it sound like you and to flow from your course. And then the very last email in here is kind of like a mini sales letter. So you could also use this as the basis for a sales page. and it has different things like the learning objectives and some other sales type language, and then you would insert whatever features you've added to your course. So if you've recorded the slides as videos, it's separate video lectures, you talk about that. If you're going to do live webinars, you talk about that. If you are doing a group or community, you want to put that in here, and then any other information or scarcity factors. So those emails are really important and helpful. And then the last few things are about driving traffic to your site or to your opt-in page. There are 5 blog posts in here that you can just make your own. I always say change the title, add some of your own information, some images, stuff like that to make it stand out and sound like you. And again, at the bottom of each, put your call to action. The infographic here is actually based on the opt-in report. So it's a summary. You don't have to use it as a social media infographic. You could use this as well with the report or with the webinar so that people have a reminder of what they should be doing. And very last are some social media posts. So this is in an Excel spreadsheet. There are 30 of them in here, so there's a whole bunch. And we've left in a little formula to count the characters on everything. You'll see we've kept it short so that there's room for you to add a little call to action and any other text you might want, sending people to your sales page or really to your lead magnet. You want to get people there opting in so that you can, again, nurture the relationships with them. So that is everything. Just going back again. Again, you have student materials, instructor materials, lead generation materials. The Flash package only has the lead generation. The Beacon package only has the student. And the Blaze package has all 3, student, instructor, lead generation materials. Let me know if you have any questions at all. Just send an email to support@contentsparks.com and we will be looking out for you. I hope you get a chance to check out this program and talk to you soon. Take care.